everyone, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a traditional Toll House chocolate chip cookie. So we begin by preheating our oven to 375. So let's go ahead and put bake 375 on our oven. And I always put my cookies, when I'm baking my cookies, I always put my racks on the second and the fourth rack. So we'll go ahead and let that preheat. And then it says to mix our flour and our salt and our baking soda. And I've doubled my recipe, so it's 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So of course doubled, that's 4 1/2, and that's 2 and 2 teaspoons. So we'll just go ahead and mix our flour mixture here to the side. Okay. So that way when we add it, everything's added equally. Okay, let's put that off to the side. And now it's asking us to cream in the large bowl our sugars and our butter. Now I've used Crisco instead of butter. I have 1 cup of butter Crisco and a cup of regular. If I had additional cups of butter Crisco, I would have used that. And so that's 2 cups of Crisco and 1 1/2 cups of both granulated sugar and brown sugar packed. Now the recipe calls for 3/4 cups, but since I'm doubling it, that's why it's 1 1/2 cups. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And while that's mixing, let's move this stuff out of the way. Oh yeah, that's doing a nice job. So in the large bowl, beat the butter, granulated sugar, brown sugar, and it does say to add our eggs, which calls for 2 eggs, but I'm going to use doubling it with 4. And you actually scrape the sides here. Doing pretty good with this mixing piece here. Definitely works easier. This tool here, if you have that one for your mixer, that seems to work really nice for the cookies. Much easier than the whip piece that I used last time. And it's calling for vanilla, which the recipe says 1 teaspoon. We're adding 2. Let's go ahead and keep that going. See how fast this is? Yeah, it looks great. And now we just slowly add in our flour mixture. So let's turn that down a little. And I'm just going to tilt it in here on the edge. Gradually add that in. Nothing like that KitchenAid mixer, right? To do all this heavy work. This one's an oldie but a goodie. I dropped a little, throw it in there. Yeah, that's great. And now it just calls for us to mix. Let's let that mix for a moment, but really I'm just ready to go. And now we just add our chocolate chips. I did open this bag already. So I'm going to gradually add our chocolate chips. I'm going to drop it down to stir. Make sure it gets all the way through. That's one bag. We've got to open up our second bag. Lock that up. And then it does say there's optional, you can add nuts to it optionally. Let's turn that off a second and lift this lid if we can get it up. I think we're going to have to stir it down a little. Getting too high up on this side. Okay, I think we're pretty much stirred. We'll just have to take the dough off of our hook here. Okay. There was a kid around, I'd probably let them eat this, but there's not. So there we go. Let's take this out. Move this off to the side. Take our bowl off. Oops, add a couple of those chips. Move our mixer out of the way. Okay, and now we just have our ungreased cookie sheets. Make sure this is spread through. And I usually just take 2 teaspoons. So I'm going to just grab a couple teaspoons. And I just take a spoonful like that, a heaping teaspoon, and push it off with the other spoon. Now I know they make little tools, but I have found the teaspoon works easier, to be honest with you. So that's it. We're just going to go ahead and fill this up. And we have a dozen here. We're going to pop them in the top shelf. Double check our reading time. I'm pretty sure it's 9 to 11 minutes, so I always go right in the middle. I'm going to put it on for 10 minutes and we'll be back. Hi, we're back. 10 minutes have passed and our timer's going off, so let's pull the cookies out of the oven. Oh, and they look perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just take them out. I'll put them on a cooling rack and let them cool, and then I'll store them in an airtight container. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you get a chance to make your own chocolate chip cookies. Take care.